Hello, hi there, I'm Lindsay Jane Hunter and I'm part of The Bigger Picture. And today I have decided to show you how to make these little tokens like this. This is a little heart that says love, but yours could take any kind of shape you like. I've got a little flower there, little mum heart, smile. And this one especially for you. You are awesome. These little salt dough tokens, this is what I'm going to show you how to make today. I've chosen two themes. I've been very cheeky. The first is around self-care and the importance of little tokens like this for kind of being able to ground you, remind you of your values, your qualities, the things that you like about yourself, that you want to focus on, that you want to bring into your life. And these little tokens can be really powerful for that. But they can also be lovely in terms of reaching out to your community, a little bit of activism, sharing a message. These can be something you can make for somebody else, that you can give to someone you know and love, to a stranger. You can hand them out. So they're a lovely little token that you can use for loads of different things. So the first part is making the actual salt dough, cutting out the tokens and then cooking them, which takes a really long time. The actual cooking of the salt dough takes ages, about 3 hours in the oven. And then the second part is the decorating of them. So it's kind of two stages, and you could do those on 2 different days even, because there's this big gap for them to cook and cool and harden up. So you will need to make these salt dough tokens flour. Plain flour, don't use self-raising because they'll puff up, they won't be salt dough. And you will need salt, it's just normal table salt. You can buy it in kind of quite big containers very cheaply, and that's ideal. And you will need water, and that's all the ingredients you need for the salt dough. And then you'll want a rolling pin and maybe some little cutters if you have them, or a knife, or anything you might have that helps you kind of shape stuff. But you can just do it freehand if you don't have those things. It's not a problem at all. For the decorating at the end, you will, if you want to paint them, don't have to. If you want to, the best paint to use for salt dough would be acrylic. Nail varnish also works really well. If you use something like poster paints, they're not going to work. They're going to soak straight in and make your salt dough soggy. So definitely acrylics, nail varnish, that kind of stuff is really what you're looking for. And you might want, if you have them, some little stampers or ink pads or Sharpies or glitter, anything you've got that you fancy for that. And you might want a bit of string or ribbon if you want to make ones that you can hang up. I like them as little decorations. I like being able to hang them. There's something quite nice about that. That they're little reminders around your home of the things that you've kind of chosen to gift yourself. And that's a really lovely thing. So we're going to start by making the salt dough. Very simple recipe, salt dough. And it kind of makes a bit like biscuits or bread. So you literally flour, salt and water. And it's 2 parts flour to 1 part salt, 1 part water. So you might have, for example, 100 grams of flour, 50 grams of salt, 50 mils of water. And you can move that anyway. 2 parts flour, 1 part salt, 1 part water. So I'm going to put my flour in a bowl, salt in a bowl, and I'm going to put some water in there. There we go. And then you're going to want a wooden spoon or a spatula or something. Well, you can go straight in with your hands if you want to. Lovely, messy experience. But you might want something to start it off. Stir it up. Takes a while. Keep stirring. Get it all in there together. It will make a sticky dough, and then it will come together in a much smoother dough. If it's really sticky, if it's not coming together, put a bit more flour in. Try again. Put a bit more flour in. Try again. If it's too dry and it's not coming together, keep adding a little bit of water just to get that balance. And what you will end up with when you've really stirred it is a dough that's beautiful and smooth like this, and you can knead it. You might want to just flour your surface, make it non-stick. So what I'm going to suggest, if you haven't already done it, is pause the video until you've got your dough like this. Okay, welcome back. I'll assume that you paused, that you've got a beautiful ball of salt dough and you're ready for the next stage. So here's what that looks like. Put your dough down, grab a rolling pin and roll it out. The thinner you roll it, the quicker it will cook. And we want it to cook really, really hard. So I would go for quite a thin roll if you can. And then all you're going to do is cut out some shapes. If you've got cutters, you can use those. If you haven't, that's absolutely fine. You can do it with a knife or whatever. You can just shape it with your hands. So you're going to make your shapes. And if you are going to want to hang them up at the end, then what I'm going to suggest that you do is use a pencil or a chopstick or a drinking straw to make a hole now. And make it quite big because the dough will move a bit when it cooks. And then once you've got your shape with a hole if you want it, you're just going to pop it onto a baking tray that is lined. So this is like a reusable silicone kind of liner, but you could use parchment paper, foil, whatever you want really. And that's the first step, really. You make your salt dough, you roll it out, you make your shapes. And you could, if you want to, at this stage, put some pattern or shape into your raw dough and it will hold. So, for example, this one is cooked, but you can see it's got the word calm in it, which I did with stampers before I cooked it, and it's held the shape. So you could do something like that if you wanted to kind of give a bit of texture. You could use a fork to give some crimping around the edges. You could use a knife to draw. And you could also roll out a little bit of dough and make, for example, a letter. So I might do an L because my name's Lindsay and apparently I'm making it for myself. And you can just stick that straight on. And so you can have your dough and you can stick something else on top and that will hold when it cooks as well, a bit like if you were cooking with pastry, it will kind of hold the extra shape. So you can do some of that at this stage if you want to. And then once you've got your baking tray absolutely full of all your cutouts and your shapes, it goes in the oven at the absolute lowest setting your oven has, so like 60, 50, really, really low and really, really slow. So it's going to take 3 hours, maybe more, and you really want to cook them until they're really hard. They won't really change colour, they'll stay really pale, like this kind of a colour that's cooked. And they should be hard, you should be able to hear them a bit. And that's quite important, so they will take ages. So at this point, if you've been doing it along with me, you maybe want to pause and then come back to this at the decorating stage. Welcome back. So this final stage is where you get to be really creative and do whatever you want. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. You're going to decorate them in whatever way you like so that they look amazing. Just put down something that you don't mind getting messy. This is an unfolded box from one of my many internet shopping accidents over the past few months. You're going to want acrylic paints or nail varnishes. Don't use poster paints. Don't have to obviously paint these at all. You can keep them natural if you want to. That's absolutely fine. You can do whatever you want. They're yours. You're creating them in a way that you love and that feels special for you. And what I really love doing with mine is using an ink pad and some stampers to kind of put a word on there. If you don't have stampers, it doesn't matter at all. This is just something I'm into at the moment. I seem to be using stampers on everything. But you can obviously paint on a message. You can write on them with Sharpies. Sharpies write on everything, salt dough included, or any other permanent marker. So there's just an example of a really simple little word being added on. Happy. And then I'll thread that on a little bit of string to finish it off. So I'm not going to tell you too much about what to do at this point because it's really free reign for you to let your creative side run free. And those are salt dough tokens. I think that's probably everything you need to know. So please have a go. Send us your pictures, and it'd be great to know what you do with them, if you make them for yourself, for somebody else. And please do check out the Starfish Collaborative Bigger Picture YouTube channel. There's loads of videos like this on there with so many different ideas. They're amazing. I'm having a lot of fun trying them out myself. And also we are collecting tutorials. So if you have something you know how to make or do and you think other people would like to be able to do it too, please make a video, send it to us so we can share it and keep passing forward this creative joy. Thank you so much for your time. Have loads of fun making tokens, and just remember, you are awesome!